Yo, hello, what is up, you guys? Bison back here with a brand new video. Today, we're going to be talking about something simple, so it's going to be a short video, but for a lot of people that have been around the block, they've been doing this for, it doesn't have to be years, but for like a pretty decent time. It's pretty simple, to understand, and to really apply it when making moves, making investments, or whatever. But for some people that are new and actually, you know, want to get more into it, this is something that it's simple, but you really have to understand it. And that's supply and demand, or, scarcity, or, however you want to put it. So I pulled up the first four sets of Sword and Shield, and obviously these sets are going to be older than the other Sword, or the other later half of Sword and Shield, uh, maybe by about like a year and a half, 2 years, whatever, right? So first we have Sword and Shield base. So we have it at a market price of 342. Hasn't really done a whole lot in the past year, and sales volume, I mean, yeah, there's really not much going on for it. And coming over here to the set value is 354. The top chase is Rainbow Snorlax VMAX at 47, and that's really about it. All you have going for it. Rebel Clash we have at 240, lowest list on TCG. Market price is 235, and yep, in the past year it went up $3. Yeah, $3. Sales volume, nothing. All right. Darkness and Vivid have higher sales volumes, but I mean, for their gains, Darkness isn't terrible. I mean, it was kind of downtrending, but it started to go up and it went all the way to 200. So definitely not horrible, but for a set that's relatively old, um, you would think that it would do a little bit better. But I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Darkness, Vivid, and Battle Styles got printed a lot. They got reprinted a lot. Some can correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But anyways, yeah. So, sets. So I'll just pull up both sets. So Darkness Ablaze total value is 205. Top Chase is literally $32. It's literally a loss opening this set. Coming over here, Vivid, 376. Obviously, you have the Chonkachu, 141. And honestly, this isn't terrible. I mean, honestly, I would have figured that this would be higher than Darkness. Like, I would have assumed this would be at 200 and Darkness would be at 170. So it's a little strange. So who knows? Maybe Vivid's due for a little bit of a run. So we'll have to see in the coming weeks, maybe a couple months. So, anyways, coming back to Vivid. So lowest list is 188. Market price is 170. So yeah, I think that most recent sale 180. So yeah, it's starting to pick up that traction. Sales volume, I mean, not terrible. Doing pretty decent. Darkness Ablaze, yeah. So Vivid has far more sales volume than Vivid. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Vivid's most likely due for a raise. So anyways, so those are the first four sets. Don't really have a whole lot of value. They've been out for obviously a good amount longer than the sets I'm going to bring up. So coming over here, Evolving Skies. I mean, it's a no-brainer. We already know Evolving Skies. Literally, total value is 5,337. Moonbreon, you have the Rayquaza, so no-brainer. We already know why this set is doing very, very well. I mean, it's crazy too, because market price was like 1360, or actually no, lowest listed, if I remember, was like 1325, and I think it got sold. Yeah, it got two sales. That one, the 1350. So yeah. Coming over here, this came out August 27th, 2021, pretty sure. So obviously has obviously Rebel and Sword and Shield base came out a year before. For a set that's literally this high already, yeah, the sales volume is good. That's like really solid. Literally like really, really solid. I don't know why. Apparently for a week, 0 items sold, but I'm pretty sure one or two must have sold. I don't know why it's 0 though, but yeah, very, very well. And then obviously coming over here, Fusion Strike, same thing. I mean, this thing sells like a shit ton, especially for a set that's literally like in the mid 200s and is also not that old. It's like, if I'm not mistaken, it's what it came out summer 2021. Okay, is it Chilling Fusion No, Evolve. Okay, no, I have my sets all backwards. But anyways, yeah. So pretty much Fusion, Chilling, same boat. I mean, literally, Chilling sells a shit ton too. I mean, you could tell in the past year how much it's gone up. Same thing for Fusion. I don't know why it's not updating with the market price, but that's the current market price for 464. Coming over to the sets, you have the Gengar, the Espeon, the Mew, and then for Chilling Reign, Blaziken, the Moltres, the Calyrex, a bunch of other great hits. And last but not least, Lost Origin. This was the second to last mainline set. So last set was Crown Zenith. Then the last mainline set was Silver. Then Lost Origin. In the past year, went up that much. Sales volume is absolutely absurd for a set that's not even like that old, right? And then obviously we all know what the top chase is. The Giratina 614, right? So just off the bat, the top four lower performing sets of Sword and Shield mainline sets, mainline sets, compared to the top four performers of Sword and Shield, literally, not only did all these sets rise a whole lot faster and reached higher price points than those lower performers, they haven't even been out for as long as those sets have been, right? And same thing, sales volume is crazy. Like literally, you're seeing this right. This box that's this high of a price sells far more than what Rebel Clash does, than what Sword and Shield base does, and also even what Darkness Ablaze does. You're telling me a box that's 1,000 plus, right? Or when it was 600, 700, 800, 900, was selling more than a box that was literally 140, 150 at the time. Why is that exactly? That's right. Demand. And you can argue, like, oh, well, those sets were printed into the ground, blah, blah, this and that. I know I said this is mainline sets, but this is just a perfect example. Two perfect examples, obviously, right? Because if we're going to talk about printed into the ground, or actually, no, I could use these other two. So first off, Fusion and Chilling. They were printed into the ground, obviously not as hard as, I think I've heard that Battle Styles was the most printed set, or, right, Battle Styles or Vivid Darkness. I don't know, it was one of those sets. But printed to the ground. Fusion and Chilling were also printed a lot, to the point people were trying to unload those things, whatever. But the hits that they had to offer were solid, right? And after that, not like it wasn't like this forever. It was like for a short time period. Then people like realized, like, hey, like these sets actually have good hits. The demand started to flow back in. Those sets started to skyrocket. I mean, literally, we have it right here. Fusion Strike in the past year went from 160 all the way to 464. Chilling Reign, same thing. It literally went from 170. I would say like 160, 170, all the way to 342. Right. So when you're comparing that, how do you explain Darkness and Vivid that have been out longer, right? Yet they really didn't make any good gains. And on top of that, sales volume is like, it's not even good when you compare it to the other two. Oh, that's right. Demand. Why? Because when you have a set that has demand backing it up, it doesn't matter how much of it's printed. The demand's going to eat through that supply, especially if it's sets that are out of rotation, out of print, right? Yeah, that supply you might think it looks like it might be unlimited or there's a lot of it. No, give it some time. That demand's going to catch up to where you're going to realize, like, oh shit, there wasn't that much supply left. And that's where you start seeing the price hikes start to increase aggressively. I mean, literally, Evolving Skies, people thought there was so much of it. I mean, back then it looked like it was, but look what it's at now. Same thing for Fusion, same thing for Chilling. There was a time frame where you had opportunities to get these. People thought it was going to last forever. Nope. All that demand ate through all that supply. And the Lost Origin. Lost Origin, I cannot even express how, like, available these cases were for cheap from big sellers on eBay for like a couple months, like a good while, right? Nope. People thought it was infinite. People were like, there's like obviously the Garantine was there, but people were like, but there's only that they were sleeping on it, right? Yeah, but no, the man picked up, and yeah, just look at the sales volume. The sales volume speak for themselves. Yeah, just ate through all that supply, and yeah, now you have that crazy market price of 365. And you can say, oh well, I'm using the bet. Okay, let's look at something that's mediocre. So it's not terrible, but it's not the best, right? So Silver Tempest, Astral Radiance. How do you explain these price hikes then? 133 all the way to 235, right? Look at the sales volume, right? Astral Radiance, same thing, 136 all the way to 233. And I found out, has the Lugia, and that's really about it. Obviously, not including the trainer galleries. Total value 628, and Astral Radiance 680. Literally, the Machamp's carrying the set. The rest of the other cards are not performing at all, which kind of surprised me. This actually has some pretty good artwork, so who knows? We could probably see another jump on Astral. But even these, right? They're not the same, age as those older sets, or scarce as those older sets. Well, mainly Sword and Shield and Rebel, right? Yet they went up higher than literally all of these sets are selling more than the first four sets that came out, and sell far more despite some of them being more expensive than the older sets. Look at Sword and Shield. This like almost never sells. Rebel Clash, oh, don't even get me started on this, right? Even Darkness Ablaze. So why is it that people want to pay so much money for these sets that are newer and that appears to be an infinite amount of supply or more supply than these sets? Why? Right? Why do people want those sets that cost more? Why? Because of demand, because those sets actually offer value. Okay? And when a set offers value, people are going to want to open that set. They're going to want to rip that set, get the top chase card, grade it, make the grade player, whatever it is. But they're going to want to chase that top hit, or if it's like a great set that has multiple hits, they're going to want to try and get all of them, whatever it is, right? But they're going to want to chase that set because it actually offers value. But with these first four sets, they don't offer value. So it's like at the end of the day, here's another thing when it comes to supply and demand, right? Those other sets that I mentioned that are performing better, evolving, chilling, whatever, they actually offer value where it makes sense for people to open them. Those sets, Sword and Shield, Rebel, Vivid, Dark, they offer no value whatsoever. And at the end of the day, why are people going to open them? Which hurts the set in the long run, because why do boxes move up? Because as the years go by, obviously, once you open a booster box, you can't really put it back together. I mean, unless you reseal it, but then it's you're going to be able to tell, and also it's scummy. I don't know why you would do that. And then on top of that, if you reseal it and let's say you get an authentic, then you would have to get another thing. I don't know. It's like a whole mess. But if we're actually being, like making sense of it, you can open a booster box, but you can't put it back together, right? So once someone rips a box, and for ripping ships, whatever, that's one less box out of circulation, right? And on top of that, you also have people over the years that they unload their supply, and then it could go to either the whales that never get rid of their supply, they literally just keep it forever, or goes to people that open it, or goes to another investor that will hold it for X amount of years, and then they'll unload it at a higher price point, and just go on so on and so forth till the set reaches a level where it's could end up like Black and White, Harkle, Tilsa, those type of levels where you don't come across those booster boxes too often, and they're like at a pretty high price point, right? But that's what I'm saying is these sets offer no value, so it's like, why are people going to open them, right? And that hurts it too. It's like, oh, I'm open Darkness Ablaze to get a $32 raw card. Like, why would you open Darkness Ablaze when you could literally spend a couple dollars more and get something like Astral that literally offers more value? You can spend a couple dollars more to get Silver Tempest, or better yet, spend a couple dollars more and get something like Surging, or pay the same price. Because if I'm not mistaken, Paldea Evolve is like around the same market price as as Darkness. Same thing with like Temporal is actually cheaper, right? Paradox Rift is cheaper. Why are you going to spend this much? Like, I get it if you want to like have a master set of booster boxes, but in all reality, who's really doing that? Like, I don't really know a whole lot of people that are doing that. I mean, a lot of people are going to want to buy it either as an investment to rip and ship, or they buy it as inventory, then they later sell it or trade it, or whatever. But in terms of like buy, like, I get it, like for like Evolving Skies, like those boxes make sense to have as a collectible because they're expensive. It's like a grail. Maybe a lot of people, maybe there's people right now that don't own an Evolving Skies booster box or even a Fusion, and it's their dream, like, oh, I want to have one for display, and obviously they're going to want a minty one, whatever. You don't really meet a whole lot of people like Darkness Ablaze is my number one set. It's my favorite. Rebel Clash, oh my, so slapped on. It's just the best set of all time. Like, yeah, no, you don't come across people that are like, no, it's always like, oh, either Scarlet and Violet or Evolving, blah blah, this and that, So that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, right? Demand is what really carries a set. Right, just because something, I mean, Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield are literally proof of scarcity. These boxes were scarce, right, and that's why they went up like a decent amount, but they just stagnated. They make small movements, but literally nothing. So imagine having a Sword and Shield box. You bought it, you've held it for what, 5 years almost, and you're at 342. When a year and a half later, you could have purchased Evolving Skies, Chilling, and Fusion, Fusion, and you would have been up your money a great amount, depending, would say, or you would have been at the same, less time, or make it even fast forward later. You could have purchased Lost Origin and made the same, if not more, in a shorter time frame. Why? Because demand. Okay, that's one thing that I cannot express enough. That yes, something can be scarce, but as the years go by, it's a very small niche of people that you literally like you're going to be sitting on that inventory for like a good while before you sell it off. Like, let's say you have two sets, right? They're both 10 years old, but one is more scarce but has little to no demand, but the other one, obviously has higher supply but has way more demand, right? 10 years from the releases, which one do you think is going to be easier to liquidate, right? And here's the thing that I've always noticed is the one that has demand, even though it had more supply, is usually always the one that's a higher price. So, just saying. Unless you have an outlier like Team Up that not only is scarce but has demand, then you get a Team Up where it performs exponentially well in a short time frame. So if you're someone that can't afford to, wait 5, 6, whatever years, right, but you can afford to hold it for a couple years, then yeah, you should be paying attention to demand. And especially if you're new to this, you just need to familiarize yourself with that and really understand that when it comes to this, demand will always come out on top. And what's more better than that? Than look at Hidden Fates and Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith especially, they tried their hardest to kill that set, to just destroy it, whatever. Nope. They couldn't do it. Crown Zenith would drop, go up, and it came out on top. And yes, I know it's an ETB, but Crown Zenith is proof. But then you might be like, oh, what about Shining Fates or Pokemon Go? I mean, yeah, like those sets, like I said before, they're older than Crown Zenith. Yeah, they were printed like, okay, at this point you can't even say, that's actually a better example. You can't even say that, oh, they were printed in the ground. They were printed like a shit ton, but here's the thing, they didn't have demand. Crown Zenith was printed a shit ton too, but it had demand backing it up. And it's at the price where it's at now because of what? Because of the demand. Right? If Pokemon Go, if Shining Fates had just better sets, a better set list, and actually had value, right? Actually would offer value in opening them, I bet you anything, those would literally be doing a whole lot better, but they don't really offer anything, and that's why people like when they're buying stuff, they're gonna be like, do I want to, like, they're gonna overlook a lot of these sets that don't offer anything. They're gonna just look at the new hot thing or other sets that offer actual like hits or whatever, actual like good chase cards. So that's just how it is. And then obviously the easiest thing, if something has demand, like really good demand, and the supply just starts decreasing and that demand obviously stays at the same, if not more, then that's where you start seeing some crazy price spikes, aggressive, rises. I mean, literally the second half of Sword and Shield is proof of that. I mean, Evolving, Fusion especially, Lost Origin especially too. You could say Chilling, even Brilliant. A lot of those things, once that supply started to dry up because people thought it was infinite, but the demand obviously stayed the same, if not more, then obviously, yeah, prices started to go up, and, people saw the value in those sets, and they kept, paying and paying, like, went up 20, $30. They're like, hey, I still see value in the set. They buy at those higher prices, and obviously people can try and price war each other for like over like 10, $20, but if the demand's there, they're just going to keep it getting bought, and that's where you see the price spikes. So yeah, keep it simple. So at the end of the day, I'll always go for demand. Obviously scarcity, especially nowadays, it's not going to really do a whole lot, especially if you have it later on. I mean, it's going to be a little hard to liquidate. You can say it's hard to liquidate a box that's 3,000, but if it has demand, I would say it would be a whole lot easier to liquidate a box that's 3,000 that has demand than a box that's 2,000 but has like no demand, like Rebel Clash or something, and really doesn't offer much. Just saying. But anyways, I'm gonna end it. I think I've been going on for a little too long for something that I said should have been a little short. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to drop a like, comment, sub, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And with that, bye for now.